Perseu. Sou eu.
Uhum. Seu nome foi inspirado nele.
Porque ele foi um herói?
Porque ele era corajoso, gentil e, apesar de tudo, ele conseguiu encontrar o final feliz dele.
A tão aguardada série Percy Jackson e os Olímpianos chega no Disney Plus agora, dia 20 de dezembro, com os 2 primeiros episódios sendo lançados de uma vez. E depois a série segue com um episódio sendo lançado toda semana. E claro que você com certeza já ouviu falar de Percy Jackson, muito provavelmente já leu os livros escritos pelo Rick Riordan. Mas se você nunca leu nada desse universo de meio-sangues, pode ficar tranquilo, e os produtores executivos da série te garantem que você vai gostar de assistir os episódios mesmo assim.
I think this is a show that embraces the kind of adventure and the kind of fun that's really hard to find, which is something that is a ride if you're 8 years old and is really kind of an exploration of an experience if you're an adult, and it works at every level in between. So I think to whatever extent being on an adventure is something fun for you, this show should really work.
Agora, é claro que se você leu os livros, essa série é um prato cheio. Eles trabalharam junto com o próprio Rick Riordan e a esposa dele, Becky, para construir os episódios e escolher o que ficaria em cada episódio e quais as principais cenas que a gente teria que ver. Além, é claro, de já contar um pouquinho dos easter eggs que a gente pode procurar nos episódios.
I think, in reading the book, you start to get a sense for what feels like it's integral to the experience of being on the ride with those 3 kids. And then you compare notes with Rick and Becky, and we got very lucky in that it turned out the things that hit me when I was reading it felt like the things that they also really wanted to see and really wanted the fans to see. And then I think from there you plant flags in those scenes and you try to keep as much else as you can of the book to preserve the experience of it, the flavor and the color. And then you start looking for your opportunities to surprise fans a little bit with things that maybe weren't said in the books but must have been there somewhere, and bring those a little bit more into the light.
And speaking of surprises, would you say that the fans of the books can look for some Easter eggs of the other books? Can we look for something like it in the episodes?
Oh, the Easter eggs. I think what's been amazing about the process of doing this now 20 years since Rick wrote the books is we do have this now wonderful library of where everything is going, which Rick didn't even know 20 years ago exactly where this book series would be going. And so, yeah, it's a treasure trove of amazing pieces that we were able to pull into this first season. That is the lightning thief, but we've been able to add things to help build it out. Seeing potential gods that are not in the first book, certain moments and certain little pieces that we can pull in, since we do know where the story's going.
Na CCXP a gente teve a oportunidade de assistir os primeiros 10 minutos da série e mais 2 cenas, e eu posso garantir pra vocês que Percy Jackson e os Olímpianos tá muito bonito. A série realmente tá bonita de ver. E claro que tudo isso tem muita gente por trás trabalhando para deixar os episódios maravilhosos para os fãs assistirem.
Main titles at the beginning of an episode or at the end are really effective in helping to either create or preserve a tone. And I think the tone and the idea that we wanted to make sure this felt embedded in was that this is a really timeless story. And I think the art that our partners in Imaginary Forces did to create those visuals just create this sense of this being an American story in a way. It's sort of you're seeing these very iconic American landmarks and ideas, but with this sense that it is so much bigger than that and has existed for so much longer than that. I think the scope of that and the romance of it and just the scale is something that we didn't really want there to be any limit to. We wanted to feel like these stories are as big as you can imagine them to be, and that the experience of watching them is as well.
Is there any question that you've been dying to answer that no one asked you about this project yet?
That's a good question.
We don't get to talk enough about a gentleman named Dan Henna, who is the production designer. I love talking about him because obviously he's an Oscar winner. He's done amazing, big, epic genre stories, and he came onto this and helped us deliver these worlds, and we're just very grateful to him. Everybody should see his work, and we can't wait for everyone to see his work because he delivered. So it's nice to be able to talk about him because so many of the designs came from that man's brain.
Talvez eu nem precise da espada. Eu vou precisar sim.